back we are joined back by, man, this has been a long day, hasn't it? We're joined by Corporate Vice President of Azure Data Engineering, Rohan Kumar. And Rohan, this is important.
Yes, sir.
Apparently the prompter says that it's a wrap with Rohan. I don't see like any like a, do you have?
No rapping right here.
Is it not going to be that kind of segment? Because
unfortunately, it's a little inside joke that I have with my team where we do this regular things which we call rap with Rohan. I'm still working on my rapping skills, so one of these days, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a viral TikTok video because I heard TikTok is a new thing.
There you go.
So let's start first with, you were in the keynote. I heard about some of the cool stuff that you were doing. And let me just start with an anecdote, because I love this. I used to work for a company called DevExpress, and this guy called me and said, I need to show 10 million points on your chart. And I was like, there's not 10 million pixels on the screen. And then how am I going to get the data? But apparently now with Azure Synapse Link, that kind of stuff is possible. Why don't you tell us about that?
No, well, absolutely. So, super excited to launch Synapse Link in Scott's keynote today. And, it's interesting, so if you look at like back in November at Ignite, we basically announced this, fairly groundbreaking new analytics service called Synapse, all up in Azure. And the key thing that drove, all the work we had done over the last few years was just around reducing this time to insight. It's still very complicated, when you have business decision makers who need to, make some decisions based on certain data sets. The amount of time developers, data engineers spend putting things together, getting all the data in the right place, transforming it, loading it into the warehouse, a lot of those things extremely challenging, a lot of friction where all up, we've sort of measured in a really deep way the amount of time it takes for our customers to, get a successful POC and into production. It takes anywhere between 3 to 9 months. Now you can imagine that's just, it doesn't make sense, just given how dependent a lot of the companies are on their data assets and the culture of becoming data driven. And with Synapse Link, we've just taken a significant step forward beyond what we announced at Ignite, where we are now tying our operational databases. So, it's available in Cosmos DB today, but we're going to get it to SQL DB, Postgres, and other operational databases that we have, where imagine all, the interactions that you have. If you take a look at, what typically gets stored in a transactional system is, short interactions that you have with, let's say, your mobile application or a website. And typically, there's a lot of customer signal intelligence that's captured in these transactions, which take a very long time for them to reach into an analytics system. So that is the problem that exists today. And to sort of solve for these, there's very complex solutions called building out these ETL pipelines, which our customers have to implement. They're very expensive, they're hard to maintain, and they take a lot of time and resources. And most of the time, you never really get access to that data in real time. And with Synapse Link, we've basically taken all that pain away. So all you need to do, for example, with, let's say, Cosmos DB is go and say, in the portal, you can just say, enable Synapse Link on my Cosmos DB account. And underneath the covers, we do all the work to ensure that the data, the transactional data is getting transformed, being available to Synapse, within 30 seconds. That's the goal, though in practice, we see it happen much, much faster. But that's really the bar that we've set for ourselves. And we pick, the best compute environment that, maintains all your transactional consistency, all the complications that the customers have to deal with today. We're sort of taking that away from them. So it's a simple click of a button. So imagine you want to create an operational report, or you want to sort of, you're getting, let's say a retail company that's getting some data in Cosmos DB that you want to sort of retrain your machine learning models on or run analytic queries. You can just do that in an instant. And it's very groundbreaking. No other cloud provider has it. I mean, this is the one of its kind where we are really getting our operational databases, together with Synapse in a pretty meaningful way.
So I literally took some notes when you were doing the thing, because like I said, if we say we need a chart and then we're like, well, it's going to take 6 to 9 months. It's like, it's just a chart.
Right.
But I mean, how are you doing all of this data aggregation? to be able to produce the insights necessary to drive decisions. That's the part I understand, because there was a diagram where you had your operational database, and then you had Azure Synapse, and then you had Synapse Link in the middle.
Correct.
What's actually going on in there?
So behind the scenes, if you look at internally, what happens is, we basically implemented these agents, if you will, which run in these compute environments that are essentially, without impacting the performance of your operational transactions in Cosmos DB now with the other operational databases in the future, where we take the transactionally consistent data and we transform it into what's called a columnar format, which is a format that's optimized to basically do large scans of data, which become important when you think about analytical queries, right? And creating that that link in a way that it's reliable, first of all, so it doesn't break, and all the challenges typically which a customer would have done underneath the covers, we are monitoring it. We are actively looking at how it's the delays that are happening between data that's coming in and when that's being available for Synapse. So there's a lot of monitoring that's also sort of built around the system. And once the data gets available in a columnar format, because Synapse essentially separates out compute and storage, once we land that, it's registered with your Synapse workspace. Right? That's the other part of the integration that we've done. So you can just walk into the Synapse workspace that you've associated with your Cosmos DB account for analytics, and then just start issuing queries. And as your transactionals are trickle feeding into the columnar format, you can retrain your models, you can run queries, etc. Which is what I showed in the demo, where I was able to join the data from Cosmos DB, live data that's coming out on the factory floor, with my suppliers that were in my SAP system, and the contracts with the suppliers and all the other additional details that were the dynamics. So Synapse essentially enables me to do all that insights together. And the real-time intelligence or the real-time insights from Cosmos DB is what Synapse Link is providing.
So
there.
I saw it.
Hopefully that was helpful.
It was literally like a button you clicked, and that was it, right?
Right. That's right.
So let me see if I understand, because everyone has had to write an ETL script once in a while, and everyone has had to be like, Bill, you don't put that in that column because everything breaks in the ETL script, right? This happens. So are you saying that you basically abstracted that extraction, that transformation, and that loading of the data into columnar form inside of Azure Synapse Link? Is that what it's doing?
That's correct. And so if you look at not just of course, all the stuff that you called out, Seth, but if you really step back and took the guarantees that we're providing, that it's not just that you'll get the data, but you'll get it within a certain number of seconds, which effectively means you have to monitor and make sure if there is, for example, just imagine your transactional ingestion in your system in some point during the day gets into, like, let's say, tens of millions of transactions. How do you guarantee that all of that data is going to be available within 30 seconds for you to do analytics on? So you have to adjust. There's a lot of back and forth you need to do to make sure how much of resources you're giving to, the Synapse Link, part of the process. How do you ensure that it doesn't impact the performance of your transactions? So there's a lot of complexity, and of course, maintaining that the transactional consistency boundary is being maintained, which is a pretty challenging thing to get right.
I mean, this is crazy. I mean, this is bananas. Basically, it's ETL with transactional guarantees, right? Which is
real time.
We should just sit here and stare at each other for the next, I got 6 minutes, right? Because that is absolutely bananas. Previously, we had to write these long-running scripts, and then we would say, the dashboard will be ready next Wednesday.
That's right. Right.
And now you're saying it's an instant thing. Now, how accurate and instant is it? Like, I'm trying to gauge, is it like up to the...
Yes.
Let's hear about that.
No, that's a fair question, Seth. I think so. We basically set the bar of 30 seconds. And, from everything that we've done, if you look at all the tensile testing and stress testing we've done, it's happening much lower than that. But that's the bar we've set for ourselves, saying, within 30 seconds, your data will be available for you to do analytics on.
30
now,
seconds.
Of course, I'm sure as we go, we may learn, and there could be scenarios maybe it'll take a little longer, but that guarantee has to be maintained. So if we need to do more work to make that a lot more, cohesive and shortened, we will do that.
Yeah, if you would have said like 30 minutes, I would have been like, that's quite impressive, because it used to be next Wednesday, and now you're saying
Right.
30 seconds, which is
Correct.
bananas. So let's go to the other side. We talked about the link. Let's talk about the workspace a little bit more. You looked into that a little bit, and then you did some interesting workloads specifically with machine learning. So let's talk
Correct.
first about the workspace, what it's there for, and then how we can plug this into Power BI and then do some machine learning.
Absolutely. So one of the other things which maybe I don't know, didn't come out very clearly is we're super excited that Azure Synapse, the workspaces, which we announced at Ignite, is now broadly available in public preview starting today. So this is something which we've been working with a lot of our customers in the limited or the gated preview, and there's been just a ton of feedback. So that's been fantastic to see. So it's you can go to the Azure portal. You don't have to have any whitelisting. You can just go start playing with the Synapse workspaces. And to your point, one of the things, again, going back to the whole principle around the time to insights, one of the big friction points that we see is, the collaboration that needs to happen, let's say, between a data engineer that's sort of stitching together your data, getting all the data transformed, and the data scientist who's basically relying on the tools that they're used to, which is in Azure Machine Learning, you look at Jupyter Notebooks, et cetera, to train on that data sets, which is being prepared by the data engineer. And similarly, you look at a business analyst who's effectively going to create that Power BI report or the semantic model that you showcase in Power BI. And what we've done, and or at least what I tried to showcase in the demo, is how seamless we've made that, right? Between, I could transform the data inside Synapse. And the moment I do that, it automatically gets registered with my Azure Machine Learning workspace. So let's say if I'm a data scientist who's firing up AML, which is sort of like this one-stop shop for all your data science needs, and I kick off, let's say, through my notebooks, a training workflow, I need access to the data sets. If I've trained them in Synapse, it just shows up in my subscription, right? And the same thing, and that's very key because, if you couple that integration with what the amazing work the AML team has done with things like AutoML, then you truly don't need to be a very sophisticated data scientist to start training the models, because you can pick the, like AutoML essentially does a lot of the work for you, and you just sort of give it the data set to train on, and then, which specific aspect of your data that you want to score against, which is important for you. Like in my case, I said, look, picking the right supplier based on my needs was important. So that's really what we picked, but it's really intuitive, that integration with AML. And the other part was the, integration we've done with Power BI, which, if you look at, I'd say almost 50 to 60% of the use case of why people have warehouses, a lot of it has to do with semantic model reporting, operational reporting, et cetera. And the collaboration we have with the Power BI team over there, again, where, within the Synapse Studio experience, you can just bring up, it's basically embedded, that whole Power BI authoring experience, and you can sort of create your reports and your semantic models, et cetera, in a way which is very seamless, right? So you can imagine, as a data engineer, I finished the data, and then the business analyst came in, is creating the report, you publish it, it's available to everyone you sort of shared with. And we're going deeper than that. What I didn't speak about today, Seth, in the demo, is if you look at it, we are actually doing work inside Synapse in partnership with the Power BI team to ensure that, let's say, the concurrency requirements, you wake up on a Monday morning and all of a sudden there are thousands of users in your company that's trying to access the report. How do you ensure that those things don't land up involving a major manual process in IT? So that real integration between Power BI, where it sends that signal to Synapse and it understands the queries that Power BI supports and how do you scale them out without having any intervention by somebody from IT to go fix that, right? So that's the other thing that we're working on, which is super excited about.
Well, I mean, you're going to make all this makeup they put on me run, because I am tearing up. Literally, I'm an Azure Machine Learning service guy, love this stuff. And being able to go from the workspace and that's it, and it's just there, is kind of magical to me. And running AutoML, by the way, those that don't know what automated machine learning is, it's absolutely amazing. It generates the best models for you. If you're a data scientist, it doesn't mean their job is going away. It means you don't have to do 2 weeks of that garbage work at the beginning, right? Where we're trying to figure out what the best models are.
That's right. You're spot on.
And this is quite amazing. I mean, we have about a minute left. Where can people go to find out more? Where can they get started? How do they start their workspace? We have about a minute.
Yeah, so basically, both Synapse, Synapse Workspaces, like I said, is available now in, public preview, so you can go sign up for it. Same thing with Synapse Link. And, if there's one ask that I'd have to, anyone who's excited about this technology and the work we're doing in, getting these things together, especially with Link. Please try it out. Give us feedback. It's all there on the Azure portal site. It's pretty obvious as to if you have a Cosmos DB account, how you can enable it and play with the Synapse workspaces. And do give us feedback, as we are very excited to get these things matured up and release them as generally available services. And one of the things that I think about is if you step back and look at the importance of data and analytics, it's getting so critical that this is going to be huge for our customers and for our developers. So
I love it. This is amazing. I wish we could have done a little for their next rap session. Okay. Thank you, Rohan.
There you go. Take
Care,
Seth, and thank you, everyone.
All right. Well, the fun doesn't stop here at Build Digital 2020. So much to look forward to coming in Azure. Speaking of things to look forward to, lots more great content coming up next.